Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It's evening here in the UK. Rather a wet evening where I am. I'm not quite sure what the rest of the country is going through, but it's been really, really dark all day, almost like a November day at 3 o'clock today. It looked like it was going dark again, let alone, being light till 6 o'clock or whatever. Anyway, welcome to the show. It's Fiona Hooper with another edition of the Poetry of Painting. So thank you so much for being with us and for watching, whether you're watching live or on replay. Great to have you on board. As normal, please make comments or ask questions, get involved. That'd be lovely. And of course, if you've got any poems or would like to write a poem, please get in touch with me, a poem about a painting. Well, this week, I'm really, really pleased to be joined again by the wonderful Roz Ottery, who will be reading another amazing poem for us. I know it'll be amazing because all of her poems I've seen and heard so far have been amazing. So let me just bring her onto the screen. Hi, Roz. How are you?
Hi, Fiona. Hi. Hi, everybody.
Good to have you back on the show. It's lovely to have you, especially because I believe you've only just really recovered from a nasty bout of flu as well, which is
Yes,
really
yes. I was concerned
miserable.
it was COVID, but it wasn't. It was flu, but it was pretty nasty.
Yeah, goodness. And that was for a couple of weeks, I think you said
Yeah,
it. It was
yeah.
pretty severe.
Well, I was in bed for about 9 days, and my joints
Gosh,
swelled up, and I was not well at all. And I kept
no.
thinking, it's got to be COVID. It's so bad, but it wasn't. So something
Well,
else is going around as well.
yes. Oh, well, I'm very pleased that you're well on the mend now anyway, thank goodness. So hopefully that'll see you through now for at least a year or so
That's
and
what I thought.
stop built up your immunity now to it with any luck. So fingers crossed on that one. So yes, welcome to the show again. And this evening we are going to have the delights of your poem about a painting here behind me, which is called Splash of Colour. And I will put it on the screen in a moment so that you can see it a bit more easily while Roz reads her poem. So this one it's 60 by 60 centimeters and it's in oils and gold leaf on canvas. So I'll be talking a little bit more about gold leaf a little bit later in the show, but I know I can't wait to hear your poem, Roz. So would you like to read it for us now, please?
Yes, I will. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I'd like to just say about this poem. When I saw the picture, the flavour of it jumped out at me. But so I wrote it, and then I was ill, and I haven't really had a chance to practice it. So my reading may not be perfect. I could trip over a little bit. But just to give you a flavour, what I thought about this, I really loved that splash of colour, and it reminded me how important autumn was to me, and when
Mm.
leaves change and different things come out. And so what happened was that when I wrote this, I thought of the fact that there are moments in time that sustain us through, say, winter in this case. And so this became something of a march through time, from the tree's beginning to the tree's end. The 3 months of winter are all sort of mashed together, but the rest of them are pretty much individual. Um, but I will read the poem. Splash of
Lovely, thank you.
In shaded field, 'twixt dash of light, stands nature's children of delight, so straight and tall against the sky, they play with breeze as March days die. Soft thrum of April's plain to see in these dappled dainties, wild and free. Rich health spring buds upon each branch, the leaves grow full in nature's dance. May's warm sun and the smell of earth, the pure euphoria of birth, then growth and green as every tree is dressed in June's warm majesty. The seasons turn 'neath careless play, and summer days are wiled away. July and August hot with glare, as lazy wings fly through the air. September and the first cloudburst, the rains will quench that forest thirst. Now shadows grow mauve as twilight falls, creating autumn's protocols. And gradually, tree colour shifts, the magic of this season's gifts. October flash of final fire, splashed leaves of coral colour higher. Soon cold night's signal change has come, the first frostbites, November sun. Then months of winter, snow and ice, who need more than Santa to be nice. So, when each time I'm wrapped and warm, before the fire dies with the dawn, that splash of colour still makes me sigh, keeps it alive in my mind's eye, and it's autumn trees for which I yearn, and rest and dream till they return.
Oh, that is so beautiful, Roz. That really is. Just the whole story and the positivity and the hope and the way that early in the year that things start to grow and time of birth and everything. Yeah, absolutely
Sometimes
lovely.
with your poems, I get a very, very powerful feeling, and with this one, I did. This is a simple rhyming structure. It's not. It's not a complicated poem. It isn't a clever poem. It's just. It was exactly as my soul felt it. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
By the way, Sammy says it's fabulous and she loved it very much. Absolutely, Sammy. It was brilliant. Thank you. So well done, Roz. Absolutely amazing. You have never let me down yet. So brilliant. This painting actually is, I very rarely repeat a subject, but this one it's based on a place where I've actually been, and I took the photographs on which it's loosely based. And I did originally do a very small painting, in fact 15 by 15 centimeters, about 6 inches square, which a dear friend of mine actually has it. Her partner bought it for her because she fell in love with it. But it just seemed to call to me with the gold leaf. What I do is I put the gold leaf. Let me just take it off this. No, I'll leave it on the screen a minute. Sorry. So I cover the canvas completely with gold leaf and then paint on top of that. So it peeks through in little places and reflects. And oh, Rosie says, hi there, love this painting. Hi, Rosie, thanks for watching and thank you for your lovely comment. You must listen on replay to Roz's poem because it's absolutely beautiful. And I don't always paint on gold leaf, but I really enjoyed doing it. And I just thought it would work very well with this one, with the colour and the richness of the gold to go with it. So that's the story behind this one. It's a subject that I always look at the photograph and think, yeah, I could be back there now.
There is a richness with this painting, Fiona. I
Mm.
mean, talk about food for thought. It really, it really has a richness that feeds you.
Lovely, thank you. Oh, Sammy says, I agree with Roz. The splash of colour of the leaves and the gold behind is stunning. Done my job well. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you. So that was exciting. Thank you very much. So how's it been going with the poetry? I mean, obviously not much for the last 2 weeks, I'm sure, but I think you had some other
Yes,
projects ongoing.
COVID has put paid to a couple of projects that I had going that would have been with schools, and unfortunately, it was going to be during the last term before Christmas, and that got paid. Well, they're going to reschedule it for autumn term this year, but even so,
Good.
that sort of that had a momentum. I'd got an earmarked time slot for it. So the fact that that didn't actually happen means that I had quite a gap. But I also have been involved in Live Talks. She's doing an environmental poetry thing, which she's got funding from the Arts Council for, which is called Hot
Excellent.
Poets, and it is amazing. What she's trying to do is to not put people off of the idea of trying to find ways to help the earth by being positive about what's already out there and little tiny things that will perhaps blossom and grow. And it's fascinating. And I love the way that this is framed, because I've been doing environmental poetry for quite a long time. And it can be very dour and dark and sad. And yes, it is bad that the earth is in the state it's in, but there is hope, and there's lots and lots out there that shows that we can actually have hope and go forward if we have the heart to do it. And this is to give people the heart and remind them that there is heart out there. So it's a wonderful project, very, very time consuming, but wonderful.
Excellent. Yeah. So even little things like I now use solid shampoo and bar soap instead of shower gel. So even little things like that, which are easy and pleasant and lovely to do, still helping without it having to be hardship or angst.
Yes, and there are the little things. I can't give. I don't know whether I'm allowed to give too much away, because it is her thing. I don't want to preempt it, because there is going to be some performances, and people are working on stuff now, which is going to come out later. But basically, you're not looking at the sadness of it. What you're looking at is the amazing innovations that have been made because of it, and there are some amazing innovations. So that's where it's going, and it's a wonderful idea. It's really uplifting to be working on it.
Excellent. There was a program I saw recently, and one of the projects on there, which is a commercial project, it's operating, was to take unwanted food from restaurants, supermarkets, wherever, and also the coffee grinds and the byproducts of the brewing trade. And they've got some particular flies. They're black ones, quite large flies, but their maggots turn all of this waste into reusable compost. And the maggots actually make protein in it as well, and it can be used to, I think some of it's compost, but that's right, they actually use the protein of the maggots for feeding chickens and things, which is actually quite a natural feed for them. It's not got chemicals and hormones and goodness knows what in it. So I mean that's a really positive thing, that it's making use of waste in a really good way.
I mean, there's so much change and so many things in the world that is frightening at the moment. That we tend to forget that there is the most amazing thing for me is that there are people out there that are beginning to change things that have always been around, and we are really beginning to think whether or not that is the right thing. Like I don't want to be controversial, but I mean things like how we treat animals, how the kindness and the compassion is the most important thing in life. And to a certain extent, I think that to me, it feels like there's much more of that in people's awareness than there ever has been before. So I think there's quite a lot of hope. And yes, there are dire things in the world going on, but at the same time, I actually think that people have the compassion on their mind rather than just blasé, bland, war is okay now or whatever. People are really beginning to question the right thing to do. It takes time. It takes years and years and years for change to happen. So, but at least there is those glimmers of hope.
And I think that's something that has been a positive that's come out of COVID and the pandemic, in that people, I think hopefully they still are, but they were looking out for each other a lot more and helping each other. And I'm just hoping that will carry on and people don't go back to how it was before, not caring whether somebody else can go out to the shops or not, or can I pick up some things for them while I'm out, if they're not up to it or whatever, older people or people who aren't well, and just just having more care and concern for each other, as you say. I mean, that would,
Exactly. But I
yeah.
think the arts can really become part of that. Even the fact that there is a feel good factor in painting, in poetry, in music, in those things, and those things are uplifting, even though we have our challenges, and of course we do. Life is difficult.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I'm saying that, I'm absolutely, totally aware that I am a very, very privileged individual within that world, and there's probably people out there struggling that would perhaps struggle to see some of those positives, because struggle like
Mm.
that is not in my um, understanding. But I totally get that it's possibly something that is because of the background and the way that I am in life. But I do see people being kinder. I really do. I think that there's an
Mm.
awareness that has never been here before. I've never
Mm.
heard people be so um, happy to put themselves really out to save an animal, or get a fishing net off the neck of a dolphin, or people really, I
Yes.
think we're beginning to realize that we are connected, all of us.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
there's some really positive stuff out there, absolutely, as you say, which is wonderful to see. And you know, even down at, in the current awful situation with Ukraine, about people offering homes
yeah,
for refugees. I mean, I cannot quite I can't, we try and put ourselves in their shoes and imagine, but I really don't think I can fully imagine the horrors of what they're going through
no,
at all
no, of
until you've
course
been through that. I don't think you can. Um, so as you say, we're very privileged. We're very lucky that we're here. We can sit here with a computer
not.
in safety and comfort doing this show, and
Yeah,
that's something that so many people in the world don't have. So
it is. It is, but I think that there is, just like an engine has different parts, and I just think there is a part for all of us, even with some of that privilege. I think that if we can just use that compassion all the time,
yeah,
just be aware and see the equality of everybody as much as we possibly can, it's got to be better than the old ways of seeing people as less, or whatever
yes,
it was. Certainly, there was a lot of that in the 60s when I grew up, even though I was a flower power child. you know, my parents' generation had fought wars and
mm,
believed in different things than we do now.
yes, yes, and all for the
It wasn't
better.
because they were
So,
bad people; they just weren't opened in the same way. We have perhaps more understanding now of challenge and difference and the way the world is. But I
yes,
don't know.
yes,
I
and
love doing these shows because they they're about resonance. They're about the resonance of a painting with words, and I love that link, that's because it is all connected. Everything, even the rhythm of nature, everything is connected.
yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. Well, we've just got a little bit of time left, and I'm going to shamelessly show you some of my little works that have just gone public.
have
They
you
were
written a poem today for
Uh,
Fiona?
I haven't, no. I'm actually not writing a poem for every show now at the moment. Not to say that I won't, but um, it was just a little bit, writing a poem every week when I'm not
Yes,
naturally a
yes, it is.
poet.
I can
I'm,
imagine that would be challenging. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just taking a little break from it for a little while. Oh, Sammy says, yes, totally. The connection is important for us all.
Mm.
Absolutely, Sammy. And if anyone wants to hear absolutely fantastic and intriguing uh, live show. If you look at Sammy's, check her out from in the comments, look on her Facebook page, you'll see a wonderful presentation she did earlier today about how she creates her art. And
Oh,
it's absolutely fantastic. Really loved it. So go and take a look at that. It's we're all different artists. We all work in different ways. But I think you'll find that Sammy's way is extremely interesting and contains some of the things that we've been talking about learning about subjects and researching them, and trying to understand other people's points of view as well. So do go and have a moment to have a look at that if you can. So anyway, I did a series of small works on gold leaf as opposed to the big one up here. These are really quite small, and they were put out to my private list to start with, but now they've gone public, so I can show you some of them on here. So these are just quite small, and you can see the gold leaf just sort of glinting through. And they're in oils on canvas panels. So there's a few different ones, the same sort of size. So gold leaf and something rather different for me is something completely different. A couple of blue flag irises on gold leaf. So I had great fun doing those, really loved them. And I've also had some new frames arrive today, so I get excited about frames and things like that. So excuse me here, but this is just one of the little ones. And this is in a plain wood frame at the moment that I will be painting in a colour to enhance the painting itself. But I quite like those. They're solid wood, and I quite like the style of the moulding, and I think they help to make the paintings look rather nice as well. So they're all on my website if anyone's interested as well, but I just really enjoy doing them. The gold leaf, I have to say, just do enjoy gold leaf. Oh, Sammy says loves them all. Thank you so much, Sammy. Really appreciate the lovely comments. Yeah, so I've actually been working on a commission just recently as well, which is almost finished. So I haven't had many new landscapes to put out there at the moment, and I have got another canvas. It's very tempting. I've got another, I think it's a 40 centimetre square canvas that's already had gold leaf put upon it. So that's rather tempting to do another gold leaf painting. But I did put a seascape out recently that wasn't on gold leaf. So I will still work without gold leaf sometimes, but I do love the richness of it.
You can see it as well in the paintings, Fiona. It's a beautiful thing to look at. It really is. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
It does enhance things.
Oh, Sammy says, "Who's teasing now?" Sammy's in a small group of us artists called the Blooms, and we've got a show coming up at the end of April. It's an online show, and we're now doing one show a year, and it's an online show that you've probably not seen the likes of before, unless you've been to another Blooms show, in that each artist is in their own room. So I'll have my paintings behind me here. This isn't actually my studio. My studio is not very big and not really good for the show, but and you can go around all the different artists. I think there's going to be, is it 15 of us this time? There's quite a few. Sammy will probably correct me if I'm wrong on that one. And she's been doing a whole series of new works ready for the show and putting little bits of paintings out of teasers. So I did comment that she was teasing us earlier, so she's saying I'm teasing now. So, and yes, quite right, Sammy, if you go to, and she's put a link in the comments, so if you go to theblooms.co.uk, you get more information, and it's on the 29th and 30th of April, and better still, it's free to come along. So if you'd love to see some artwork, lots of different styles. We've got abstract from Sammy, semi-abstract from Colleen, Marion, especially doing trees. I like trees as well, my landscapes. We've got fibre sculpture, we've got encaustic wax, mixed media, watercolour, acrylics, pottery again, some wonderful paintings of women, spiritual type women, and who have I missed out? and Linda in New Zealand, who does amazing paintings of like women and animals all together. They're absolutely beautiful. So do check out the website if you're interested, and it will be lovely to see everybody there. So that's the 29th and 30th of April. Oh, photography as well this year as well, which is a first for us. So we have a wonderful landscape photographer joining us for this show as well. So that's that. And then I've got an art fair coming up at the end of September. So once this commission's out of the way, I need to be getting on and doing some more paintings for that as well. So lots of exciting things coming up and to look forward to. You with your poetry, me with the paintings and the exhibitions. So I think it's going to be a busy year this year, Roz.
Absolutely. I know. I've got about 180 poems sat in a box file at the moment, which I have earmarked to put into a book, because they are ones that I wish to give to my family, because I'm getting older, and I'm thinking to myself, I'd like to put these in a book and make sure that they've got a copy of this, because the difficulty is that if you just leave them on pieces of paper in box files somewhere or on a computer, they're quite liable to just go. So I want to make sure that they're actually created into a book. And once I've done that, I may, it'll be self-published, of course, that one, and I may just put it out there and see how that goes, because they're poems I like. Maybe other people will too.
Absolutely. Well, as I say, the ones I've heard, I think they're absolutely beautiful. Love them. So let me know when the book's available, because I'd be very interested in that. So, and I think a lot of people will be. Anybody that's heard your poetry on this show, for example, will know how wonderful it is. So I think you could have some custom there. Let us know. Oh, Sammy says, me too.
Brilliant.
So do let us know. Let me know. Put some comments on, and I'm sure that you will. Well, I'm hoping. I'm sure I will be asking, but I'm hoping that you'll be coming back on the show again.
Well, I hope so.
You'll be able to give us some
doing
updates.
this. It's a smashing little bit of my week.
Good. It's so lovely. I've made so many lovely friends. Oh, and I've got a new lady poet coming on soon as well, which will be lovely. A different style of poetry again from any of my current poets. So that'll be lovely. Ring the changes a bit again. So yes, I'm looking forward to that one, working with somebody new. And I say it'd be lovely if you'll come back again.
Stimulating as well, can't it? When you work with people that, again, little bits of them rub off, so it's quite nice.
Yes. So, and I believe she's got some projects as well, which hopefully she'll be able to tell us about, on the show. So it'll lots of different ideas from people, lots of interaction, lots of exchange of new ways of looking at things and new ways of seeing the world, which for artists, whether it's a poet or a painter or a sculptor, I think it's just so important to keep expanding your horizons and seeing things from different perspectives, as we grow. So yeah, well, I hope you'll allow me to post your poem in due course, Roz, with the painting on social media as before, because I think it certainly deserves a wide audience. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you again.
Thank you.
So I think we're getting towards the end of our evening again, sadly, gone too fast. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching and making comments. Brilliant to have you on board, and really appreciate it, and look forward to seeing everybody again next week. Roz, I'll look forward to you joining me again in the very near future.
Pleasure.
And thank you again for such a fantastic poem. And Sammy says, great show. Loved your poem, Roz.
Oh, I'm really glad. Thank you.
As did I. So thanks ever so much, everybody. I'll be back again next Wednesday at 7 p.m. UK time, which will be the 23rd, quick calculation, and hope to see you all then. In the meantime, have a super week, stay safe, and take care. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye, Roz.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.